Okay, so the main event was up next. And at first I was like, what the f***? Because I'm zipping through, trying to get out of the commercial break. And then I see the band. And I forgot they were in San Antonio, and that's Thunder Rosa's hometown, because I'm thinking, how did this make it to AEW? I can see him having old Kingfish Ingram. I could see him having some kind of, modern day musician, but is that mariachi music? Was that a Mexican mariachi? I've heard the name mariachi band, and I know it's Hispanic, but I don't really know. I'm not an expert on the flavor of the music.
To be very honest with you, it may have been, but I had the TV on mute during her entrance because I was on the phone.
You should have heard they were playing and singing, and a singing and a playing, and a picking and a grinning. So it like 8 women all in costumes, the colorful native culture played, and then Thunder Rosa came out. They didn't play her music. They played some music, and then she had her entrance. It was Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker for the women's title in a cage match. And when they announced this last week, I knew what was going to happen, and I was obviously right. Again, these two girls, if they had a match, could probably have the best match of almost any girls in this company, except Serena. However, they weren't allowed to have a match. They were encouraged. I'm sure this was their idea, and they were encouraged by the loose nut behind the wheel of this company named Tony Khan to go and do what they did. I'm sorry. This is not sexist. This is just observing a fact. This is an observable fact. Girls' fights in steel cage matches look like horse shit. Because it looked like they could have been fine having a wrestling match, and you can buy the girls wrestling, competing like athletes. When they're trying to be Harley Race and Terry Funk, it doesn't work. It looks phony. It's fucking stupid. It devalues a future main event cage match with blood that they could have with men on pay-per-view. Not just men, but main event men, not the best friends who aren't men, or the little cosplaying teenager fucking trampoline cowboys men they have, but actual men. This is 220-pound girls as big around as my little finger, trying to be Harley Race and Terry Funk and have a goddamn double juice brawl, and it looks like shit. It does not look in any way like a fucking fight, nor does it need to, because have we mentioned, they've already established they've got a Warner Media executive that will ban wrestlers from the company for mean tweets from 10 years ago. You mean to tell me that that's a no-no, but 2 women bleeding, hitting each other with chairs in a cage, and now with thumbtacks is okay for Warner Media? Just no mean tweets. It was crap at the start, and they took a break, and they came back from the break, and Thunder Rosa was bleeding after Britt Baker got a little color early, but she was hesitant with it, as she should be. Why does a woman want to cut her fucking face?
They tried to get it. You saw Thunder Rosa hitting that.
Yeah, she was trying to knuckle it and get it open a little bit, and that's, God. The biggest problem is that these fucking lunatics in charge of wrestling these days have told these women that they're supposed to be equal to the men and supposed to be allowed to do everything that the guys do, and therefore they do it. That's the problem. So she didn't get but a little color, thank goodness, but then we come back from the break, Thunder Rosa is bleeding bad, and then they throw 8 chairs in the ring. So I fast forwarded. Now they have built a shop class project of chairs in a neatly stacked pyramid in the middle of the ring, and they're having a fake fight on the turnbuckles so that Britt Baker can take a bump on the chairs that I'm sure hurt her because the chairs didn't give. So then I fast forwarded some more, and that's when they brought out the thumbtacks, and I turned it off. They could have easily had Thunder Rosa win the women's title in her hometown in a wrestling match with Britt Baker, that would have, I'm sure, got over because people already wanted to see Thunder Rosa win anyway. But instead, they do something that puts the whole entire wrestling business, male or female, on the same level as cockfights and the guy that bites the head off the chicken at the fucking fair. And not only that, but they did it. Was it last week or week before? No, it was on the pay-per-view, so 10 days ago. They just had MJF and Punk double juice, thumbtacks, chairs, whatever the fuck. It's a parody of wrestling. And I'm sure they're all proud of themselves because now the girls are equal and they get to have phony matches that fucking do damage to the wrestling business too. But yeah, I'm sure they were all proud of themselves, Pat. See, the girls can do what the guys can do. Yes, have shitty matches that make the business look bad. I don't know what they're... That's another thing on the long list of things we can add that Tony Khan needs to do is tell the girls no more juice, no more gimmicks, no more stipulation matches. That's for the guys that draw the fucking money and not everybody up and down the card, whether they're male, female, animal, vegetable, or mineral. And cut it off. It's fucking embarrassing. What'd you think?
Not a big fan of these kind of matches. I don't turn off the TV when I see the thumbtacks, but I certainly, at this point in time, I just lose my attention. It went past the point of being cringe and something I hate, to the point where it's like a groan and oh, come on. And like you said, we just saw it. We see the same things over and over.
They're real thumbtacks, and old referee Aubrey's rolling around counting in thumbtacks. Here's another thing. If I was the referee, I'd say, you got to be out of your mind. I'm not refereeing that shit. It put me in a main event with Bryan Danielson and CM Punk or somebody, and then I'll fucking work at a goddamn ring filled with landmines. But if a girls match, I'm going to get thumbtacks stuck in me? Fuck you.
The one good thing I'll say is Thunder Rosa won the AEW women's title. It was very emotional. That was a nice moment. Yeah. It was nice to see. And I think she deserves, she's the kind of person you could put a belt on and not have a problem with it. So I'm happy.
Imagine, the emotion she showed if you could see her face instead of all the blood. They could take pictures of her with the title belt held. Oh, no, they can't take pictures of her because they can't put them anywhere because there's a woman covered in blood. What kind of fucking image does that give your company? So it was a great scene for the echo chamber of modern cosplay wrestling fans that don't see anything wrong with women having a fucking garbage match in a cage with double juice. And I'm not talking about for anybody's, I'm horrified a woman is bleeding. No, I'm horrified that something makes it harder for the guys to do their job, draw the real money, and have the real fucking fights. Instead of this goddamn bullshit where everybody, man, woman, or child, trained dogs and cats can all go out, and just because they can imitate wrestling moves means they're allowed to do so. It's embarrassing and unprofessional.
Well, that was AEW. Well, it certainly was. There was AEW Dynamite. That sounds like the sound of the AEW exploding ring. There it is.
Yeah. How about this? Yeah.
What is that?
That was the bump bump. Yeah, see?